What's up and welcome back to Pop Beat Breakdowns. Now today's beat breakdown video is a Billie Eilish type beat. I've been going on this kind of journey, so you speak, trying to do different artists, and Billie Eilish is a really cool one to do because she's in that line of alternative meets pop, and especially with the influence of her brother Phineas, you get some really nice textural productions with a lot of ambience going on, a lot of dark mellow feel, but also a little bit of grit as well, and it can be a very hard balance to strike. So I made this beat today, a very simple one, so it's easy to follow if you want to make a beat in a style, and hopefully by breaking down this beat I made, you'll have a better understanding of how to make a Billie Eilish type beat, or at least close to it in that style. That's the point of these videos. Now, if you are new to this channel, make sure you like and subscribe. Drop me a follow on Instagram as well, at Joe Gortry. I'll leave a link below for that. And then, by the way, if you are someone who likes to work with samples, I've kind of got a deal going on right now for 1,000 royalty-free pop samples. It's called the royalty-free Ultimate Pop Producer Sample Pack. I'll leave a link below in the description for that as well if you want to check that out. But let's break down the beat. That's what we're here for. So the beat today all originated around a couple of samples. Like, for those of you who watch my channel a lot, you know I like to produce with samples, especially in Splice. So I started today with the drums. Like, everything here is the order everything was added. I like to keep it that way, so when I do these videos, you have the best understanding of how the track's actually built up. And I built this drum beat, which we'll break down after we listen to it. So there's a couple of different fundamentals going on here. Obviously, the track stack is very key, so you can mix all the drums together. So I started with this sample. I found this, and it just had this real nice kind of like real-world texture, kind of like really rough around the edges and like poorly recorded. And I kind of like that, almost like lo-fi. But this is the sort of vibes that we're going to need. So it's important to note at this point we were working with 70 BPM. This is what I went with. Again, this is the sample everything originated around. You wouldn't think it was the sort of sample that you would start a whole project with, but this inspired me to do what I've added after this. Then I added this in next. Again, kind of that lo-fi, sort of like very rough, almost like muddy drums. Very cool. And then we added a kick to that. And then obviously we added crashes and a reverse crash just to help with the transitions. Very simple. And that's basically the drums. Again, this is all very simple stuff. So when it comes to the next part, I kind of wanted to start getting a sense of ambience to the track. Billie Eilish got amazing vocals, so I wanted a lot of female vocals in there where I could, even if it was just for a pad or creating some sort of tension in the mix. Now I found this vocal ambience in Splice, which was C major, coincidentally. So we're setting the track at the key of C major at this point, so this is when I decided the key. Now what's really cool about this is I've done a couple of things just to help with the kind of vibe of the track. So the first thing I did was I put a sidechain compressor on and I compressed it to audio 4, which is the kick. So it's sidechained to the kick drum. And then I've also put a chorus on as well with 100% mix, 100% intensity. So this basically pushes it out to the sides of the mix. I want it at the sides of the mix to help with that ambience. Sounds very cool. And then at this point I kind of was ignoring the drums and I just put some piano underneath it. Now, when it comes to mixing the piano in, I always like to do a sample delay. I like to play the actual chords, and then you heard there was a low note in there, kind of like a bass note. Sidechain them to different directions basically means that you get this really nice stereo piano. So when you're using MIDI, this could be a very good way to make the piano just sound a lot more full and like it covers more of the mix. The piano today, we were using the Levitating Maverick by Native Instruments, by the way. One of my favorite piano sounds. And let's have a quick listen to everything we've done so far. I also forgot to mention as well is trying to work with samples can be really fun sometimes. I created this little drum fill just out cutting from this. So if you wondered where the fill was, that's where it came from, literally just cutting out. So now the track's getting there. I found this guitar loop which I feel like could work, and it was on 70 BPM, it was C major, and it sounded like it fit the bill. So this original guitar sample actually had a lot more to it, but I cut it at certain points so the chords were right. Again, it's really easy to actually work with audio when you do it like this. I think I could drag it out. I think because it was at the end. I can't remember. Oh, it's because I bounced it out. But yeah, basically I had cut the 2 chords so it kind of did the same thing. Very easy to do, but very fun. Now at this point I was ignoring everything I'd done and I was just trying to focus now on filling in the rest of the production and like with the textual elements. So I used the kinetic effects. Now this is kind of like a plugin I never use ever, Kinetic Treats from Native Instruments, but I felt like I kind of like had to use it because it's kind of this sort of Billie Eilish Phineas sound. And it was just a preset, but it sounded really nice. And I layered that with an 808. And all of a sudden we've got that ambience, we've got that sub, we've got the intensity that we need in a Billie Eilish track. Finishing it off with Airways pad. This is my favourite pad in the whole world, and it's kind of like a stamp of my production style at this point because I have it in probably about 80% of the productions I work on. The only thing I've added is an overdrive up to 24 dB, so you can hear the difference. It just adds again that final bit of grit which we're missing in the production. So when you put it all together for the first time, you can hear what the finished production actually sounds like. Now, a quick touch on the actual structure of the song. We've gone for the classic verse, chorus, bridge, chorus. And this is a 4-chord song. And the key thing to do here is just to have something different happening every 4 bars. Let me show you. So we have an intro here, 4 bars. It's the same. It's just the guitar, the vocal, and some of the textures with the guitar. And then when it gets to the verse, there's a change. Now, the change I've done here is I've actually put a channel EQ on the actual output of the beat itself, and then I've done a high cut frequency which has basically created this really nice sort of like high rolled off track, and then we kind of got a riser going on here, so this feeds really nicely into the first chorus. It's just something different and makes it sound really cool to listen to, and something the listener may have not expected. So that it builds up in the pre-chorus, so we have a build to the chorus. And the thing I love about this is we have this little cut. I love to do cuts. So this is a cut. It just makes the chorus hit so much better. If you have that gap of silence, it just allows the production to breathe. And then it's basically a same sort of formula all the way through, just changing up every 4 bars to keep it the same, but also different at the same time. And that's the production itself. And then when it comes to the mastering, it's very simple. We've just got the Vitamin, the C6, and the Abbey Road mastering. The mastering I'm more just used to master in mono because I've started mixing and mastering in mono, and it's been a game changer. I love this plugin. I'll leave a link, by the way, to these 3 plugins. This is the 3 plugins I always use in mastering, and if you want some mastering plugins to really help elevate your productions, I really highly recommend you check these out. So again, I'll leave a link below so you can check out the plugins list. These are all Waves plugins. And they're fantastic. I love them, especially the Vitamin, really good. Multi-band compressor, as is the C6. I like to do these 2 in parallel with each other because it just works for really like controlling the whole production. So with that all said, there isn't really much more to this production. It's very simple, very easy to do, and hopefully by watching this video you've learned something of how to make it in a similar style, even if it's just listening to the actual textures that I've implemented. But yeah guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Smash the subscribe button if you did. Keep making music, and I'll see you in the next video.